Today, I'm watching the Twilight Zone Season 3, Episode 6. The previous episode was about this legendary pool shark who gets called down from heaven to, defend his title, and we see that his title is overtaken and a new legend, is instated. So that was a really cool concept to think that there could possibly be these iconic figures just waiting to get called up. And also it felt a little sad that they would constantly have to defend their title until the next great, came along. It's like you want them to be able to enjoy their afterlife, but I guess if it's something you love. So yeah, a really interesting episode. They're not doing the previews at the end of the episodes anymore, so I have no idea what this episode is about, but really enjoying the series. Really excited to see where we're gonna go in this season. So thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you want to see exclusive content from this episode, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. I feel like I know who he's supposed to be, but I'm trying to remember if the time period makes sense. Is it Che? Chi? Don't come for me. I'm probably mispronouncing that incorrectly.
Viva, 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 viva. Viva Clemente! Viva! Viva!
That's my first guess. I'm not an expert in history, but I feel like that would make the most sense. They're poisoning him? Why are they all laughing?
What makes a man drunk? Wine or that mob screaming his name?
Yeah, like how different things would affect, give you power and make you have that same feeling as being drunk.
To Cristo, the bold one. To D'Alessandro, the dedicated one.
Or is he drunk on power? Is that what they're trying to say? We haven't had a ton of super political episodes, so oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see where we're gonna go with this.
Mirror and see the aftermath of a rebellion in the Twilight Zone.
Ooh, okay, I'm very curious. Yeah, this revolution, and we've seen mirrors in previous episodes as well as this reoccurring theme.
Not what I want! Not what I want! What they want!
Oh my god. Yeah, he's this voice of the oppressed, rising up this revolution. But now he's also treating people horribly, so it's yes, you're treating these people in power, but...
What is for followers, not for leaders! No, General, you're too good, too good.
Oh my gosh, this guy...
I'm going to strip you naked and cover you with honey, and then I'm going to tie you to the ground under a hot sun.
Oh my god, that's so grandma.
Wine. And every time that you pray for mercy, I'm going to laugh out loud.
Anger can be a great motivator.
Death for every voice that you stifle by decree.
I will not oblige you.
Is that justice? Yeah, that's, I think, a big question.
As far from you as the moon.
Greasy pay, huh?
I don't think he's gonna like that one.
And you are not, huh? You are the purists.
Yeah, who's the good guys and who's the bad guys? It seems very gray, which I think is the point of this story so far.
We are all the same breed.
I feel like he's trying to say everybody can be corrupted, you may have this purist view now, but...
No one but ourselves.
Oh my god. This guy...
He presents his case, and we are his best witnesses. We corroborate everything he says.
There's no trial, there's no jury, there's no judge. It's we say what goes, and we're the judge, jury, and executioner.
Inheritance, and you will find them soon enough. Fear.
Yeah, being at the top might not be all that it seems. Now people are going to go after him because they might view him as an oppressor.
Fear of rebellion, fear of another Clemente hiding in the hills?
Yeah, exactly. He said it just a year ago that was where he was, and...
She said by looking into it, I could see the faces of my assassins.
Oh, very curious indeed. Okay.
You will see them in the crowd. You will see them everywhere.
And is that the paranoia of being at the top, everybody's out to get you, and yeah, is somebody trying to assassinate you?
Assassins. Isn't that intriguing?
I'm curious if there is anything actually supernatural with it, or if it's some kind of ploy into saying, you're the ones. Oh, it does work. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yep. Very different poses. Oh no. It's reminded me a little bit of like the camera episode we had as well.
One, it would have to be you. I know that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, the body count's starting already. Well, that didn't last long. Cheese and rice. He's like, yeah, let's drink to this new, leaders. Just kidding, I'm gonna throw you off a balcony.
They scream for justice, and when you give it to them, they're suddenly bored.
Does he just want the power and like hearing people chant his name?
And the death of a man who was my friend. That puts a hook into my heart.
Yeah, he tossed him over the balcony. It was like, see ya.
That is the worst lie of all. That was a lie, Ramos.
Yeah, like he never actually drew his gun. Like you just saw it in the mirror.
Leave it be, Ramos. You can talk yourself into an illusion. You can make yourself believe anything.
Yeah, like, and is he gonna spend his time ruling this country or just staring into a mirror, hoping he sees something or letting his mind play tricks on him? Who's it gonna be now? Oh god, all of them. Can't throw everybody off the balcony.
You saw something in the mirror? No. I'm concerned about the crews.
He's like, now I gotta play it cool. Don't know who I can trust.
You have them both on my sufferance. Don't throw them away.
That's a very interesting way to put it. Okay.
This is General Clemente. In a few moments, 2 men are going to arrive. They are spies and they're...
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Cabal and Garcia.
Oh my god. What?
And they are to be shot!
There's no end. There's no limit. There's just gonna be more people, like... I thought he was gonna be like, put them in jail, like, I need to keep an eye on them or something, but no. Shooting on sight now.
No.
Why should there be?
He doesn't seem like he would deal well with complaints anyway.
And how it is that I can crush them out and I don't think about it, I don't fear it, I just crush them.
You're hungry with power and yeah.
And the assassins.
But it is interesting to see him question it though.
How long? How long will you be a follower until some quiet moment when my back's turned? No.
He can't kill everybody, like, come on. Oh my gosh.
Perhaps one. Perhaps I am stronger than you.
He's like, and then I'll overtake you and problem solved. He's not holding a weapon, but is the wine poisoned or something? Interesting. And he's never in the reflection when we have these scenes. It's just the assassin.
It'd make me sleep better, wouldn't it? For how long? For how long will it make me sleep?
The big sleep? Yeah. Oh!
They're both dead. And what shall we do now, Cristo?
No reaction, no response. Yeah.
Friends, because they can't be friends and assassins. They cannot be both. That was your point, wasn't it, huh?
But yet, no one has actually tried to kill him. It's just what he's seen in the mirror and his response to that.
It's just a mirror, an ordinary mirror.
Is it all in his head? Yeah. Oh! Oh my gosh. The body count in this has been nuts.
Now I'm afraid you will be very lonely.
I mean, if he keeps killing all his friends, for sure.
Ramos.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, the price of power, like, who do you surround yourself with, who do you trust, because he's just on a rampage.
They've been going on now for a week. The people are appalled.
Yeah, no kidding, that's horrible.
We are to expect from the new regime.
It's like, I thought things were getting better, and you're just making it worse.
The executions will continue. They'll continue 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Then he's no better than the guy who was just in charge.
General Clemente, the victory is not so sweet, is it?
Yeah, he's just right back to doing the exact same thing the other guy was.
They never recognize until too late.
Are they their own worst enemy? Is that what we're doing? Yeah, probably should have done that a while ago. Oh no. Oh no, I'm worried. Yep. Oh gosh.
They never learn. They never seem to learn.
Yeah, and it was his reflection he saw in the mirror last.
It's hardly coincidental, whether it be here or in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that was my first time watching The Twilight Zone, season 3, episode 6. This episode wasn't my favorite. I still enjoyed it. I still think some big themes, throughout with of power and tyrants, and we have had political elements in previous episodes with historical figures and referencing, events in history and stuff like that. But I think this is one of the few where we've literally been in the chair of the guy, who's just taken over power, and we've had presidents and stuff like that as well. But this felt very politically charged and very like, I'm in power, I'm gonna do what I want. Very much a dictatorship, very much a tyrant. Like, I don't really care what anybody thinks, it's my way or the highway. And yeah, this mirror, at first I thought, okay, it's gonna show the future and he would see himself in 5 years, 10 years, and maybe he would be no longer in power, but that's not the case. And then I also thought, okay, the mirror's not going to show anything at all, and it's going to reveal that, he's his own worst enemy, which we do kind of end up seeing in the end anyway. But I didn't think we would get any scenes in the mirror. I thought it would just be kind of him staring into the mirror, and maybe it was his mind playing tricks on him. You could go that route as well. Maybe, it was just his paranoia and his fear fueling all this, because everything we see in the mirror never actually comes true. We see the guy pour a drink, what he assumes is poison being offered to him, but was that just a coincidence? Sound like they had been drinking, like the wine was there. And, when he sees his other guys holding these weapons, we never see that happen. And it did remind me a little bit of the camera episode where they go to the horse races that can kind of predict, 5 seconds into the future, a few minutes into the future, and have that option. So I thought, okay, he can see it and then we're going to see it played out, but that's, not the case either. So if it was all in his mind, obviously no supernatural elements involved, which is interesting as well. If we go that route where, he was just so consumed with fear and paranoia. And obviously that interaction we have at the start, where he's basically telling him like, hey, good luck with everything. Like, I had good intentions too when I started, and I thought I'd be able to change things. And then you see, how the characters can so easily be corrupted, and, how they look out for themselves and more selfish self-interests. And as soon as he throws that guy over the balcony, I was like, oh, okay, like this is definitely, he doesn't want other opinions. He's not even willing to have a conversation. And it was interesting to see Clemente question that about himself. He's like, why am I just killing all these people? Like, these are my friends and I don't feel bad about it. Like, at no point was he like, maybe let's talk to them, or I'll send them off on a mission because clearly, I'm suspicious of them now, even though they didn't really do anything. And to go from, them celebrating, okay, we finally did it, like it took a year, we raised this army, we were able to overthrow this corrupt government, and then they become the exact same thing that they hate. I thought that was an interesting kind of full circle moment to, and I'm sure we've seen that in history as well, where, people come in thinking we're gonna change, and then it was a week of executions. It's like, oh, so nothing has actually changed. Maybe things are even worse than they were before. But his mentality, of course, was not that at the start. His mentality, they mentioned he was working in the fields and, probably didn't have a lot of opportunities. And then to build this for himself and to, build this army and build this momentum and build the support and, be able to be in this position of power, and then just do exactly what the last guy did. He's made no change, and again, maybe made it worse. And whether the mirror played a factor into that, or maybe it was just he would have led to this fate, anyway. Obviously a very high body count in this episode, but just to see the downfall of like, okay, fear and paranoia, and you become your own worst enemy, and who do you trust? And even him saying like there's no friends, and imagine how lonely that would be as well. Obviously his time in power doesn't last very long, and I don't know who they're going to put in to replace him, who's just going to be the next guy, standing there. Even at the end when we have the two of them, he's like, oh, I'm a follower until basically I feel like you're not doing your job good enough, and then I'll overtake you and I'll overpower you. And again, I'm sure that's things we've seen in history, and people feel like, okay, I could do better, I'm gonna step in. And maybe sometimes that works out, maybe not. And we've seen the mirror before in Twilight Zone episodes, and to me that always represents, themes of identity. And I feel like we saw that, with Clemente as he's now in power, and kind of maybe questioning, who am I, and what do I stand for, and when I started this, how much has changed, and what do I want to do now. And even when we have, the priest come in and he's he's like, listen, things are bad out there. Things are really, really bad. The people are very unhappy and terrified and scared. And, you know, he's like, oh, I don't care. Like, he's like, just keep executing people. Like, you know, if he hadn't smashed that mirror, who knows how long that would have gone on for. And yeah, we often see history repeating itself, which is terrifying. And the fact that he was just okay with it. And again, I think if we would have gone back a year and said like, hey, you know, they're executing people left, right, and center, and it doesn't really seem to be a logical reason behind it, he would have been furious. He would have been like, well, I must do something to stop this, but he's now the one causing it, and he's doing the exact same thing. Obviously, you know, big themes of politics and political power and tyrants and dictators and, you know, that very, very gray area. I didn't feel like we had solid good guys and solid bad guys, and again, I'm totally fine with that. I think it makes for an interesting story, and, you know, even when they bring in the guy saying like, oh, we're gonna take him out and, you know, pour honey on him and like this very gruesome and probably slow and painful death for him, they were like excited about it. And maybe that guy did some horrible things, you know, I'm not saying he didn't, but if that's your way of starting your new, you know, chapter for this country and this new chapter for these people is by setting an example by doing horrible things, like there's no trial, you know, it's trial by execution, there's no jury, there's no like, okay, you did horrible things, yes, here's your day in court, here's your sentence, like, yeah, you get your punishment and we move on. And of course, him being the last assassin, you know, ending his own life and being the last one that he sees in the mirror. And I felt like there was going to be some themes along those lines of like, he's his own worst enemy and he's going to end up, you know, again, is he just going to spend all day staring into this mirror? And it kind of reminded me a little bit of, you know, Harry Potter, where you're just staring because you want to see what it's going to show you. And I was like, if you're supposed to be running a country, you can't be just staring in the mirror every 4 seconds. You travel, you're going to take this mirror with you. And obviously we see the mirror break. So hopefully whoever the next person in charge is, you know, doesn't get stuck in the same loop. But yeah, again, history tends to repeat itself. So who knows? But overall, I don't really know how I feel about this episode just yet. But yeah, lots of big themes with the politics and, you know, themes of identity. I have no idea what the next episode is about, but yeah, curious to see where we're gonna go. So thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for movies or TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Are they poisoning him? Why are they all laughing? Yeah, being at the top might not be all that it seems. Like now people are gonna go after him because they might view him as an oppressor. Does he just want the power and like hearing people chant his name? Yeah, he tossed him over the balcony. It was like, see ya. I thought he was gonna be like, put them in jail. Like, I need to keep an eye on them or something. Yeah, and it was his reflection he saw in the mirror last.